How did it all start for you first day? Look, you're in the game a long time. You're a very energetic character.
Oh my God. Okay, so basically, I think when I was 16 or 17, I got the itch for, the modified scene. I think I bought it. A Nissan Micra was my first car. And, put wheels on it. I think I'd done luminous green calipers and the luminous green Fido Dido, the 7-Up man on the back window and all. And I thought it was, it was where I started. And, I'd always, I'd never, down anybody because we all started somewhere, So that was like my first car. And I think it was when I think I had a Honda Civic VTI after that hatchback. And it was only when I changed that, I bought a Honda Integra. It was a black Honda Integra, and I became friends with a guy called Keith Tang. He was one of the main guys in pro racing back in the day. Pro Racing Newlands Cross, one of the very first car shows or car shops in Dublin. I think from that then I kind of met a bunch of lads from Tallaght, and it was when Flushbus was created. Flushbus was one of the first ever modified car magazines in Ireland. So I kind of befriended them guys. I went crazy then modifying my Honda Integra, put a full mad kit on it, mad wheels, had the flames up the side of it because it was around the time of Fast and Furious. And I think after that then I was mad into it. I think the first, modified car show I attended was the Southeast Car Show in Tremor. Yeah. And it was just madness. It was just absolute madness. And the gas thing about it is Richie Lavin, who is my partner today, he was the one that started off the whole scene. He was the one that ran the Southeast Car Show. And I think it was 100% modified. Just after that, it was just a madness. I was with Flushbus for many years. And then that's when Heatwave was created. That's 19 years ago this year. So like Heatwave was kind of created from sort of off the back of Flushbus. And we also then set up Cool Nights, which is kind of a nighttime teen show. And I'm bringing that back this year as well. But I think from kind of, was doing the shows, and then I had my ideas. Other guys that was doing Flushbus with them, they had theirs. So we kind of parted ways. I wanted to do a magazine that was more featuring all aspects of motoring, so not just modified, because there was a little dip in the modified car scene for a while, and I felt, I'd just love to kind of feature a bit of rally, a bit of modified, a bit of old school retro stuff, some skateboarding and BMXing and that sort of thing. So it was more like a culture magazine around the modified scene, car scene. So that's where Slick Magazine was created then. I think we ran that ran for, I think, 9 years. Like Flushbus and Slick Magazine were kind of the best times of my life. The experience was just madness, getting to meet. It was brilliant. Like I got to meet some really good characters over the years. Dirty Sanchez, the lads from Dirty Sanchez. I got to meet Jamie Shaw from Charisma. Got to meet all the guys from Max Power, Redline. These are all guys that we all looked up to, So when we had Flushbus on the go, we were invited over to stuff over in England, and I just got the the buzz. It was great. I just loved it from then till now. So it's nearly 20, 22, maybe 23 years down the road. I'm still mad into it, and I'll always be mad into it. So it's great. It's great that I've seen the scene back then, and I seen the scene kind of die. And look, last year was just an absolute amazing show for me and for Richie. Like the story, the whole backstory of Heatwave. Heatwave was started when we had Flushbus, and I parted, as I said. The guys then sold it to a guy who then we bought it back off. And we took both shows over. So me and Richie Lavin then took them over, and we've been keeping them going. As I said, there's been some tough years where we're like, finding it hard to get really good cars to come, and really trying to just hold that in there. But you know, I'm glad I held in because, you know, Heatwave has, you know, nobody can take it away from Heatwave that it's the longest running motor show in the country by far. Like I said, 19 years and it's still here. So I'm hoping it'll be here for another 19 years. You know, I might be on the Zimmer frame walking around, so but I'll try and keep it going. But look, again, I have a love for it. I have a passion for it. And as I said, last year, you were there yourself last year. You know, to have the quality of cars that were there last year, just amazing. And this year, it's just getting better again. Like, you know, there's some amazing stuff coming out of the woodwork. And, you know, I just want to say on behalf of myself, Richie, and all the gangs from Motor Shows Ireland, like, just thankful to the guys for showing their cars at our show, because without the cars, there's no show, you know. So hats off and a big round of applause to the guys that put the effort in and have their cars looking amazing. Again, as I said, you know, I know how hard it is. I built a 200 SX that was it broke my heart. It nearly broke the bank as well. I'll never forget, I bought this 200 SX bog standard from Galway. Myself and my wife headed on down to Galway. I'll never forget, it was just standard Ferrari red. And, you know, again, it was like I hadn't got along and I was going mental with it. I think I'd done a full Dulux kit and had it sprayed a candy apple red. So it was that for a while. That's when it was on the front of Flush Bus, actually. It was on the front of Flush Bus when we had a candy apple red. Then I changed the gold and black. And then I changed the kit to a Urus kit and went purple, which is my favourite colour. So, you know, look, I spent ridiculous money and ridiculous time on building that car to the way I wanted it. So I totally get and understand and I appreciate the work that goes into building a car. So again, hats off and well done to the guys, you know, for making the effort and putting the effort in.
Definitely,
you have to excuse that. You have to excuse that in the background. That's me cockatiel squeaking in the background.
He's excited.
He's mad about cars. Yeah,
he's excited.
He's excited about Heatwave.
Definitely. And Ray, look, we have to speak. Obviously, look, I've been, as you say, look, Heatwave it's historical. It trains. You know what I mean? It's huge in Ireland. Like, how much is it? Like, over the years, you've seen it. Like, you know what I mean? Obviously, times are kind of different now, but obviously, you see the turnout for the last show last year. That was incredible. The small fellas still on about the Lamborghinis that were there. You know what I mean? It was surreal. But the times have changed. Is it harder to get that classic car these days? Because, like, if you're looking for a Nissan Skyline, or if you're looking for you know what I mean, a Honda Civic or a Starlet, a GTI, they're just so rare to get these days, aren't they? So, like, you know what I mean? Is it the case of we're going to be modifying the cars of today in 10, 15 years, or do you reckon, look, there's still enough out there?
Well, I tell you, here's one for you, right? I'm driving 2010 GS450H, right? It's a 3.5. It's just like the GS300, only in a 3.5. And the thing about it is, it's as quick as a GS300, non-turbo. Yeah. And the engine is strong enough to put a turbo on it. So I think that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to be putting a full kit on it and nice big 20-inch alloys on it. That's my plan. So there you go. That's a 2010 hybrid car that I'm modifying now to my liking. Yeah. So I know, you know, in the future of electric cars, people are going to still modify them to their standard or to their taste. You know what I mean? So you're always going to have it. But you're talking about, okay, your retro and classic cars. Like, okay, look, your A86, for instance, twin cams. Look, you know, back in the day, I can remember them. They were like Nissan Micras, where lads were dogging them everywhere. You go to a car park and lads were drifting them. And sure, look, Butchie Butler, he's renowned for it. You know, again, me and Butchie go back a long, long way. You know, so you know, nowadays that car is like gold. You know, you don't see many of them being dogged now because they're worth so much money. Guys are just taking pride in them and they have them gleaming and they're putting so much money and work into them to restore them back to factory, and they're locking them up in garages and then they take them out for special occasions. So the cars are still there, but I think they're just hidden. And
Yeah.
nobody wants to sell them anymore because they know in 10 years' time they're going to be worth even more money. You know, I kick myself every day. You know, as I said, there was great times when the magazines were around Flush Bus and Slick. But when I can never look, the bad times were 09, I'll never forget it. 09 when the recession hit. You know, we were stung for a lot of money. And unfortunately, the mag had to close down. You know, it was the worst thing for me. You know, personally, you know, the guys that were working for me were personal friends. They became good friends. And to let them down was really, really hard. So I went through a stage where, you know, for nearly 2-3 years, I fell out of love with the car scene. I fell out of love with everything. Because we were born, you know, it's no fault of anybody's. Everybody was in the same boat in 09 when the recession hit. There was car shops shutting left, right, and centre, and we just couldn't survive. So you know, I had me Nissan 200 that I was after spending a lot of money on, and I had to sitting in the garden, and I let it go. I let it go for next to nothing. And I'm just thinking to myself, if I'd only held on to that car would be worth maybe 30 grand now. You know, and it's just kind of kicking myself. So you know, I think guys now that have that type of car, the 180s or the twin cams, they know that they're going to be worth a lot of money down the road. So that's why they're hard to get.
Oh, it's surreal. And look, yet again, it's such a great time. But for all of us and all us fans, Sunday, August 28th, 12 p.m. until about 5:30. It's in association with Reflect Autocare, I believe. You have the classic cars, the drift cars, the Heatwave Motorshow. It's going to be incredible. There's no doubt about it.
I tell you about the show. Look, there's a few things that, you know, because last year Naas was a new venue for us. We never ran Heatwave and Naas. You know, our venues before that. You know, when we started off, we started in the Kennel Club, the National Show Centre in Swords. After that, we moved at the Fairy House, and so last year was the first time for us to do it in Naas. So was it just there was a whole sort of new sort of thing to it. So this year, there's a few things were changing. You know, there's an area in there in Naas where they call it the stables, but this year, I loved it last year. It was like a maze when you turn this corner and there's this type of car, and then you turn this corner. Oh, what's around here? So this year, we're really focusing on making that a main part of the show, and we're calling it the modified maze zone. So there'll be a lot of modified motors in that area. We're also putting in a couple of DJs. We have the guys from Ice Radio that are going to be there on the day, playing some tunes to make a little bit of it, because I know it was a little bit dead in there for people last year. So we're putting a little bit of stuff in there to liven it up a bit and make it a more entertaining area for people, because I want that as a main feature of the show. We have the other stuff that's going on. You know, we have the parade ring where we'll have some supercars. We have obviously the live action area where we are going to be doing the pull apart again. We have a couple of cars there that people are itching to cut in half, you know. So we have two serious bullnose Scanias coming down. Murray, it's actually Murphy Transport. Danielle and our brothers Stephen and Damien, they're going to be bringing the trucks down to do the pull apart. So that'll be interesting. That'll be a bit of crack, you know.
That was savage,
just the usual. You'll have the usual lads as well. You know, we have a Wee Man, with obviously drift games. We have who else have we got? Barry Forrest, another really, really serious drifter. Tom Murphy is coming up from Kerry to have some fun. Who else have we got? Obviously, our own guys that we've sponsored this year, Carl McQuillan, John Joyce, and Nathan Corcoran. We've basically sponsored them now there. So they're going to be basically taking part in a lot of our events, but they're also going to be competing in the drifting events as well. So again, you'll have them there. Who else? I hope I'm not missing anybody out. Well, no, it's going to be a fun day for all. We have a kids' fun fair, but there's also going to be some rides there for adults. We're going to have a lot of bikes. We're going to invite a few more bikes this year as well, just to have a little bit more selection. What else have we got? Obviously, we just released today and confirmed today, we will have Bumblebee there, the actual figure, and we're hoping to have the actual car as well. So, you know, we're working on that. So that's going to be announced shortly as well. So look, it always is a good fun family day out. We've always kind of tried to keep it family friendly. I know back in the day when we only started Heatwave, it was really a lad's day out, you know, where we had the models. But I'm gonna tell all the guys out there, don't worry, we have something planned. Hopefully maybe November, December, we are bringing back cool nights. And that's gonna be an over 16s car show, where that'll be more full on fuel girls, the Viper Vixens, you know, so it's gonna be more adult orientated, you know, so you know, something for the lads. And some of the ladies like that as well, you know.
Of course they do. Now we're going to have all the links up, Ray, as always. We know the tickets are available and stuff. But look, it's an absolute honor and a pleasure. I was there last year. Look, I was a massive fan of Slick Magazine. I've been to many Heatwave shows. It's a big year. You know, we're glad that the pandemic is kind of to the side. And look, shit's kind of back to normal. And look, we have good times ahead. But we'll be there. We can't wait.
It's going to be good fun. And look, again, next year is going to be the big one for the 20th anniversary. That's going to be the big blowout. As I said, we're going to be doing a massive show next year. We're planning to bring Jamie Shaw's TVR, which is the first ever car we had at Heatwave. So we're planning to bring that over. And as I said, we're planning to do the whack ball, and it's going to be a bit wacky. The whack ball run, something. So everybody's invited along. You know, once you have a nice motor, you're more than welcome to come along. We're going to take a trip over to Spain after we do Heatwave next year and do a Heatwave in the sun.
It's going to be savage. We're going to have all the details up. And look, we'll have this on. We'll have it on Facebook. And as you say, guys, you've got a couple of days. We have a massive giveaway. The response has been huge. A lot of views. So to enter, we'll have all the details below. Ray, it's an honor as always, my man. I'll see you.
Listen, legend. Thanks very much. And we'll see you at the show. Yeah.
See you soon, my man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Be good.
Bye-bye.